When you were Chief of Army, you went through an enormous cultural change, or you tried to push the Army to a cultural change. What's your words of advice on that? Because some people say it takes a long time, but I know you have some differing views.
I do. I think culture is deeply ingrained in all of us. From our first breath, we are shaped by the prevailing culture of our societies and our communities, our families. And then when we enter the workforce, particularly if we're part of established organisations like an ANZ or an army, you become inculcated with the aspects of the culture. And I think my shorthand definition of culture is it's the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, which works for me. So if those stories are inclusive and respectful and embrace the idea of involvement at an individual level, irrespective of gender or religious belief or sexual orientation, that's really powerful. But if the stories are exclusive, focusing on certain attributes, gender, male, ethnicity, Anglo-Saxon, then all of a sudden that culture, I think, becomes skewed, and its ability to affect the long-term health of an organisation is really diminished. The most important things that I think leaders can do is firstly see themselves as the custodian of culture, not its captive. I think for a long time, through a long military career, I just took at face value aspects of our culture and said, well, that seems to have worked in the past, so it'll work now and into the future. And in doing so, I was probably more a captive of it than a custodian. I think that organisations can change dramatically in a short space of time. Indeed, our contemporary society expects it. No one is going to give any slack to the big four banks or to other leaders within the banking and finance sector if they don't follow through on what they're talking about.
Yeah,
that is a fact, I think. And let's face it, that's a good thing. That's a powerful thing for building a better Australia.
How do you think about resilience and bringing that into both your personal and professional lives?
Well, I mean, I've found that I understand more about personal resilience than I did when I was an army officer. I think a lot of what I would have called personal resilience when I was serving in the military was in fact the support and buoyancy that was provided for me by thousands of soldiers and the ethos of the organisation. But for all of us, irrespective of who we are or what we're doing in our professional lives, there do come moments where our resilience is challenged, as has been the case for me in my post-military career. And there I've really started to understand the power that being part of a community gives you. We're not in this by ourselves. In fact, we're in this together. For me, feeling part of an organisation, a community, is the thing that counts most. So investing in it and then being able, if you like, in a banking analogy, investing in it and then being able to draw on it when times are tough, that's, I think, an essential attribute of being resilient in the long term.